best radio station on the planet.
ZMR Radio.
The number one internet radio station.
I'm at work right now and I'm listening to it.
Number one.
I wake up with you guys, I spend my day with you guys, and I go to bed with you guys. You guys are the best.
The number one internet radio station.
ZMR Radio.
Welcome back. This is your girl, Wendy J. This is another episode of Flourish, Girl, Flourish, the podcast, y'all. Welcome. How's your night going? How was your week? What was something that made you smile this week? I want to know that. But before you guys hear my answer, I want to bring on a special guest today. Yes, this is live. This is different for Flourish Girl Flourish. So drift with your girl. Now, for our special guest today, we have Miss Wisdom Simone on today. Ooh, cue in the claps wherever you want to cue them in. But you guys can find our guest today at My Candid Wisdom or of course, on Instagram, or you can find her at wisdom_Simone. Miss Simone, how are you?
I am awesome. Barack for another you. Tala. Glad you
Hey,
got me.
hey.
Glad to be
Well,
here.
thank,
Too
well,
glad
thank you for being here.
Yes, ma'am.
Good. Well, I know you heard the question. Something that made you smile this week. What was that?
Ooh.
Right
There's
in.
a
We
lot of
jumping
things
right
that
in.
make me smile. I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of things that make me smile. Like I guess what makes me smile the most is
Mhm.
seeing my Mishra call. Like I really
Okay.
enjoy like watching them and all of their beauty from our babies and just like moments that we have. So that's what immediately I think about, something that made me smile this week.
Okay. Well, for me, I was on my way home and my son was falling asleep. And I grabbed his hand and he grabbed mine. I know. I'm a mom. So
Oh,
not gonna do that. But it was
oh.
just the sweetest thing ever. And that thing was today. So, he can terrible threes, horrible threes, crazy threes, whatever you want to call it. But that was my moment. Just so sweet. They grow so fast. But you guys, we have an amazing show today. Definitely amazing topic that I know a lot of people can relate to. And Miss Wisdom Simone is going to give us her insight on this topic. Now, the topic of this show is going to be growing pains. Talk about growing pains and what it means to you, what you know about it, what you've experienced with it, and what would you tell someone else about it. So, first and foremost, when you think about growing pains, or when I think about it, I think about I'll say pain, the first word you hear, but not the first, the second
Exactly.
word you hear.
Exactly.
And then you also think about growing, which is something that's changing, no longer going to be the same. So growing pains is scary, definitely scary, of course, because it involves change. But what do you think growing pains, or what do you know growing pains to be in your life?
Oh, painful. Um,
Painful?
yes, growing pains are definitely painful. Depending on what it is that you're growing through, sometimes growth is forced.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes growth is gradual. But
Mm-hmm.
anytime you recognize that time, me personally, okay, um, I
And
guess I just try
I'm
to.
not meaning to cut you off, but listen, do you remember? And I thought about this. Do you remember you and I, some time back when we had a conversation and you asked,
Mhm.
how was my day? And I looked at you and gave you one of them sighs, and I was like, it's just been a day. And you looked at me and you said, what, you growing?
Yes, because
Is that what you're talking about? Is that what
yes,
you're talking
that is
about?
how I learned to combat what people call bad days. Like generally people just be
Yes.
like, "Man, it's a bad day." The best way for me to not like go to whatever galaxy outside of the supposedly there is, like
Yeah.
I have to really like just look at it. Um I'm a pretty I guess an animated person. um my it's somebody told me like I'm a billboard. Like it's kind of hard for me to have my emotions, so with
Mm-hmm.
that I have to govern them, and I have to make sure that they have a true and valid basis.
Mm-hmm.
So I learned that on the days that are like what I would consider bad days, I just evaluate like, why am I feeling the way that I'm feeling? Is it something that's valid? Is it something that I myself caused? Because of course I don't want to feel like that anymore. So the whole idea is to figure out what it is so that I can possibly prevent it from happening again if it's something that was within my control or something that I could have done different. But to take that a step further, somebody asked me about growing days. They were asking me about my day or what have you. And I was like, yeah, it's definitely a growing day for me. And they were like, they took it a step further. They were like, well, every day, I'm just, and I was like, I like that one. I like that one because it's true. We should be picking up, adding to ourselves in some way every day. But it's just some days, like I guess I think about bamboo. You know how bamboo has the different notches.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not exactly sure like what forms those notches, but it's to me it's like growing past one of those notches. It's just not as smooth as the rest of the bamboo is. So some days you're just making a notch and getting stronger.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hmm. But you know what? When I think about it as well, after you said that comment to me, and of course we were on our way getting ready to record, but after that I couldn't stop thinking about, I guess you asked for this. Like that's all I could think of in my mind. Like you asked for this. You prayed for this. You wanted this type of change. And so for instance, another growing pain for me would be, I guess an example, I would say learning how to learning what to say when to say it. And the only way to learn how
Yeah.
to do that is to be put in a situation where
Yep. You got to get your
you
head
gotta
back one
know what to
time.
say. And then if
Hmm.
you say, I want to show up on time, then that change within you would be okay. Now that means I have to cut something else short to be able to be there on time, or I can't do this. Like you have to make that change for yourself to hit that goal, or
Correct.
get past that stage. But how dare you complain? Like you're
Yes,
going
that's the
through it
part.
and you're
Yes.
in that moment
Minimal
of
groaning.
this is not feel good. I don't like
Yes.
it. Pouting, throwing a
Minimal
tantrum,
groaning. That is it. Yes. Because in
throwing a
that point, it's
tantrum.
kind of like, even if you get through it, it's not
Mm-hmm.
as satisfying because it's like you kind of, I mean, you did it, but you complained the whole time. So I'll say that that's my space. That's the notch I am pressing through because I think about it sometimes like if someone's hit, like say somebody just walk up to you and start hitting you, there's a necessary reason for it. You may or may, and it sounds like completely crazy for somebody, of course, to walk up and just start hitting you, but that's something that's uncomfortable within you. You just like stop, or even out loud, you're just like stop. Hey, what you doing? Like that hurt. And they say, okay, well, the reason I'm doing this is because at the end you'll have this benefit. And it's like, okay, but this still hurts. Like, stop hitting me. Like, you really have
Right,
to do this. So it's
right.
a matter of being able to hold the goal clearly at all times so that even if it does, you can kind of endure it a little bit better. You're gonna grow, but you
Mm.
ain't gotta grow as much, I guess.
What about sticking with the process until the goal comes? That's the sitting right in the middle of the growing pains. Like that's the process. The process is you're gonna shed something. the
Yes,
process is you
yes,
may, you losing something. And not
yes.
saying you losing value, but you're knocking off some dead weight. And at this moment, carving, like you carving at this ice sculpture. That's it.
Yeah,
Like just to
gotta
get where
dig.
you were trying to get. So
Yeah, you gotta dig. You gotta dig. It's the accountability to yourself part too, cause like that was another part of like why I started calling them growing days. Like I said, I just wanted to see the things that I didn't like in my life. Like, was this like legitimately my fault? Because I have, it's somebody I like like there's someone I know, they just like they're like, I'm janky, not me, not Wisdom Simone,
mhm,
that person themselves. They're like, I'm janky, like anything in the world that can happen to me, it will happen to me. And I'm that type of person. Like, I mean, generally anybody, if things are quote unquote in your
not
sight
going
bad
so well.
enough, yeah,
Mhm,
you want to know why. And if you feel like you're putting in a good effort and it just seemed like nothing working for me, I just had to stop, because I'm like, I'm looking at other people doing things,
mhm,
and I'm like, okay, I should be in that position. I'm not a ignorant individual in the sense of
mhm,
not being knowledgeable or resourceful. So what is this that I don't like? Is this my fault? So just holding yourself accountable. Like, if you don't like it, then do something about it. That
correct.
became my thing. Like, just do something about it instead of pouting and soaking in it and not like just basically being stagnant in it. Even if the process is extremely slow and irritating, just do something about it and continue to move in that direction. And that's just, yeah, that's that on that.
Okay. So, one thing that I am pulling out of this, and that's coming to mind as well, and also next on our list is consistency. So, walk us through this growing day. So, you have your moment of your teachable moment. How are you staying consistent in learning what you need to learn in order for the next level to be revealed to you, or your next elevation, or you to even get to that goal? What about the consistency? What does the consistency look like to you? Yes,
You broke up the last part of your speech. I didn't hear anything you said.
what was the last thing you heard?
I heard the basic question was what's the
Oh,
consistency
consistency.
aspect of it? Yeah.
Right.
And
So
for
what does
me,
consistency look like for you? And I
just
know that
constantly,
consistency is constant and you keep
yeah,
going.
yes, but I guess always being mindful, not I guess, I know, always being mindful of,
Mm-hmm.
I'm always mindful of my discomfort, because the
Oh.
minute I forget my discomfort is the minute I stop moving, because I'll be good and I'm not going to do nothing to push past being good.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm always mindful of my discomfort. And again, like I say, in those days when I feel some kind of way, or just period, if I feel some kind of way about a situation, I examine that situation and figure out how I can best change it. That way, I don't have that
Mm.
discomfort, at least in that situation, if it's a temporary situation type sense. I
Right.
can do what I need to do. And even if it don't work out, whatever, it's like, okay, I did what I was supposed to do, or what I should have done in that situation. And then the same, as they would say, flip side of the coin, if it's a situation that don't work out well, look at it as, okay, that was my
Learning
fault, or
lesson.
this is how, yeah, it's a learning lesson. So
Mhm.
the consistency for me, I guess you could say the fuel of it is always being mindful of my discomfort, because the minute I forget my discomfort is the minute I like completely, even if I'm not moving at the speed that I would like to move, I can still see that I'm moving. Because yeah, if I mean, if you're comfortable, who getting up? Like really, like really,
Wait. Wait. I have to say that. If you're comfortable, who's getting up?
like really.
Who
If
who's
if you
who's
chilling
what?
somewhere, don't nobody want to get up. You comfortable. That's why everybody like the bed. That's a place of comfort. That's like a recharge. Everybody love rest. That's why you got
Oh.
vacations. That's why you got all of that. Because everyone loves comfort. And you never want to
Mm.
leave those spaces. That's why those spaces
Mhm.
make money like that. But real life is
Really?
not comfort. Real life is not comfort. And if you do
Jeez.
have some small sense of comfort, you have to work your behind off for it. Like I've been recently thinking about like inflation, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and I look at people like Elon Musk and all of them people and whatnot. They got money, but what kind of life do they have? Like legit, you sell your entire life to have that level of money. So where is your comfort in that? When do you get rest?
Mm, 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 mm. And maybe towards
Like,
the beginning, like when once it's new, once you have it, and then having to maintain it or whatever happens after that. But um, oh, I actually really like that. And comfort who's getting up. Like it's time to turn it up. It's time that you have. I feel like comfort. You have mastered that level. That's what I feel like. I feel like once you get to a comfort zone, you're saying, "Hey, I've already went through this A, B, C, D to get here, and now that it's time to shake that comfort zone, you're going back again to a different level. But now it's another A, B, C, D to get you back to another. I feel like it's a constant cycle. So the consistency is not stopping, because this is one thing, of course, in life we are constantly growing and changing, of course, evolving. And I feel like there's always a time where a Wendy J is going to self-sabotage. Like I've said that on one of my shows, like I will self-sabotage. Like the day we had that conversation in the car, I literally could have just forget it. But instead, no, I had to strap them boots up, and I had to
yeah,
keep going. Like I had to
another
keep
day.
going and dealing with it head on. And I think that's the difference now that I'm trying to make a new norm for me, and a new consistency is no matter what, I know you're going to go through something, but you got to grow through it. And why the blank not glow through it? We call it growing pains.
Yeah,
Like this is
yeah,
going to happen, or something's going to happen, but you have to change. You cannot
yeah,
stay the same. No one does. So
yeah,
fight it for what? What are you fighting for? Now you're gonna fight it, and you're prolonging where you need to be. So
yeah,
mm-mm, no, no,
yeah.
ma'am, no ham, no turkey. We can't we can't do that. Now, if I
Post
hear
what?
y'all, if I hear somebody, if I see that on the shirt, hear it in the song.
Make
Hear
sure
it
you
in
get
them.
your
I
post
don't
feeds,
care.
Wendy.
Give me my money. Give me
Break it off, break it off,
my
break it
money.
off.
Break it off. Break it off.
Yes.
Okay.
But yeah, just gotta be mindful of that discomfort. That's just up. And like you say, grow as far as cycle. I guess for me, I would like for it to be more of a elevation, because the cycle is just like you say, self sabotage, because you end up right
Mhm.
back where you at. So it should be more of an elevation, and definitely get comfort as you master stuff. But just comfort in overall, if you're not in like an ideal position to
Mhm.
be like cool, nah, do something about that.
Hmm. Well, let me just let's go into let's dive a little deeper. Let's dive a little deeper if we can. I would say the most recent, that's what I want to know. What's the most recent growing day, growing moment you experienced? Now, for me, I'll make it short and cute because it was pretty ugly. It was ugly enough. But I would say self respect. That was an ongoing thing for me because I thought I had it, right? I thought I had it, but I didn't. And it took for someone else to tell me, you don't have that. You think you have it, but you don't have that. And then you start to go through each situation, or as many situations as you can think of, where you're like, darn, did I even care about myself? Darn, did I even love myself? Did I even like, was I thinking? Because clearly the brain was not in me. That's the growing days and pains and moments that I can say was just recently for me, just understanding and getting put through certain tests. Certain tests that's like, are you still there? Are you still
Yeah.
there? Are you still operating that same way? Or are you at this point where it is what it is? I am who I am, but I am not going to keep tolerating that. I'm not gonna allow
Yes,
that.
that
I don't
part.
go
That part.
there.
That part right there.
I'm
That
not
part.
gonna watch
Yep.
that. I'm not gonna
Yep.
feel
Learning
like I'm
boundaries.
gonna cut that
Yes.
conversation off.
Yes.
Like
Mm-hmm.
that that
That
that's that
part.
that's me. That's
Yep.
where I
That part.
live. And
I just yeah,
I,
that part. I agree. I'm sorry.
I like it.
I really agree with that part because I recently came into that. Like I have always been timid to offend others, but sometimes I end up being offended myself, and it don't be like big stuff, but still it's good. I've learned it's good to be honest. It's a way to do it, but it's
Mhm.
just good to be honest and be very clear about boundaries and things of that nature. So everybody know how everybody roll, and we all roll happy together. But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, that part,
Mm, self-respect.
yeah.
So what's a recent growing day that you've had?
I think today was a recent growing day for me.
Oh
Um,
shoot. Sooner
yeah,
than we expected.
yeah, it was today. Like,
Oh.
it wasn't. It was, but it's been. I had a recent anniversary of a checkpoint in my life, and when
Mm-hmm.
I did, like, there's certain times of a person's year, you have this kind of ties back a slight digression, but not really. I used to work at Sam's Club, um, and this lady told me she knew that I was in the computers and stuff, and she said, People are like PC and Mac. Both of them can accept the same programs, but you have to give them to them in different languages. So basically, she was telling me you have to understand how to communicate with people.
Mm.
But um, with that, conflicted, blaming on the hemp. I forgot where I was going. I knew I shouldn't have dipped off. Um, let's see.
They'll
What
have
did
to
you ask me?
operate.
Oh, the growing day. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So people have different points in their life where they go on auto check, like a computer would, how it tell you it's got to
Mm-hmm.
reboot and evaluate stuff. I found my
Upgrade and update.
there it is, upgrade and update. Let's roll with it. I like it. So um with that, some people it'd be their birthday, some people it'd be the beginning of the year, some people it'd be different points in their life. And I hit one of them points. And when I looked, I wasn't specifically happy with everything. I
Mm-hmm.
saw growth in some places, just like if you would have a job, how you would do your evaluation and you look at the different points of whatever, and you might get you a raise, you might get you a nice little raise if you work like that, and you might stay where you at. So that's what I did for me. So as far as my adjustments, I guess I was kind of like evaluating my adjustments today, and I kind of got irritated with it, but grew nonetheless.
Mm.
Grew
So
nonetheless.
you're not sitting in it, right?
Oh no
You're
no no
not,
no.
but just you're sitting it long enough. I think if you get out of it too quick, you're
Yeah.
not gonna learn what you need to learn, but you're sitting in it, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Hitting with the
Yeah, it's a marinade.
consistency. It's a
It's a
marinade.
marinade. I got a bar about that somewhere. I can't think of it right now. Something about
You have a
marinade.
what?
I have a bar about marinade. And I just can't think about it right now. It's the Tahaling. Thinking about you. Um,
Oh.
Goodness, I can't remember it right now. I can remember parts of it. If it's meant for me to remember, I say it. But yeah, I really, really do. I really think it over and try to evaluate and figure it out.
Hmm.
And yeah, you gotta grow.
Hmm.
Gotta be better.
Well, I got some more good little questions on here. Now we got another word. Now this word has always been a hard one to say. I don't know if the C and the T are just slapping each other together when I say it, but the word is toxicity.
Mm.
Toxicity. A word that people can throw all over the place, wherever they want to throw it. Um, but a word that's hard to describe yourself as. You can freely This is a word again. I'm gonna say it again. This is a word that people can throw all over the place at you, at her, at him, at the dog, at the cat down the road, at the McDonald's. They can say it as much as they want to. But when it's time to call a trait or something they did yourself in your life, it is hard to name it. It's hard to call it that. Why do you why do you think that is so, Wisdom Simone? Why do you think it's hard to call yourself toxic and realize that you toxic too, as opposed to point the finger?
I think it's easier to see outside and take a minute and look in because
Mm,
it take a little bit more time. It's easy to see other people's stuff because it's right there in front of you. Whereas it's almost like kind of like if you live with somebody and they gain weight, you don't necessarily notice it over a period of time. It's like it don't hit you at once, or
mhm,
when it has to be very drastic for it to hit you. You kind of don't notice stuff like that, um, because you're always with them, or you just always in yourself. But
mhm,
it's good to have checkers, people to kind of keep you in your area. But as far as people being able to label anybody with anything, it's easy to do that. And then too, something else in growing and understanding how to communicate with people and how
mhm.
to kind of relate and identify with people, you really don't know what people be going through. So kind of, I heard somebody said, I can't remember who it was. I know of at least one person that probably has said it.
Right.
But
Right.
you once you learn to understand yourself, you understand people a little bit better, and it allows you to have a little bit more of a common space, even if you do have to groan a little bit. But
Mhm.
yeah, that's why it's easy, because everybody is trying to understand or trying to get out for themselves and not necessarily understand each other. So you're gonna always see your offense.
Right, and I think it's so when I looked up the word that caught me, that not by surprise, but it was unpleasant. That's what it says on Google. Y'all do not come find me, FINE, but you can find me, FIND, at
Oh,
Flourish
okay.
Girl That Flourish on Instagram.
Yes.
Okay. So Google had one word on there and it says very harmful or unpleasant.
Mm.
And unpleasant has been a word that you can think of where it's and the word before it was poisonous. So I'm like, well, I don't know about that, but you can be poisonous in so many different ways, and you just ain't got to be a creature or a species. Like you can be poisonous. Your words can be poisonous. The way you, the way you
Yeah.
are can just be just
Yeah.
traumatic to someone. And I think that's another way you want to say it. You become traumatizing to someone else, or the way you do with things, the way you say things. I had to say something about that word because you start to look at yourself, and when you're ready to face that moment of that moment of truth, I'm toxic too. I did this, I did that. You're just not pointing the finger at anyone else, but you're seeing your flaws and your. Let me ask you this. Do you think having flaws is something completely different from being toxic? And the reason why
I
I asked is because I feel like with your flaws, that's something within you that I guess that makes you that's not so great that some people may have to overlook. That's what I'm getting from flaws. But being toxicity can still be, I feel like they're both unpleasant.
I think that they are in a sense, but I
Okay.
don't believe that all flaws are toxic. I think
Yeah.
flaws become toxic when they start to detrimentally affect other people. That's when
Oh,
flaws become toxic. We all have
yeah.
our thing as far as what they would call our weird. At least for me, I know I have plenty of weird. But
Whatever.
as far as just a way about yourself that you have, when it
Hmm.
starts to negatively affect people, that is toxicity. Or
So,
even to negatively affect yourself. That's
That's what I was about to
toxicity.
say. So is it just your flaw negatively affects you, and then the toxic part comes in when it's to other people? But you did say that. That's something to think about. That is definitely something to think about. Well, the next thing I wanted to ask you about is how do you be vulnerable, Miss Wisdom Simone? How are you able to be vulnerable in a moment, of course, in a moment that you know you need to be vulnerable in, or how are you able to even, I guess, identify this is that moment. This is the moment to be vulnerable. Of course, whether it's with any relationship, like any, your parents, your sisters, your friends, how do you know it's time to be vulnerable?
When it's a situation that is beneficial to me or the person that I'm being
Mhm.
vulnerable with. If I feel like that situation can help either one of us, like I said, a part of communicating with people is understanding where people at. So if it's a situation where I need to be vulnerable to relate to them, to help persuade them in a situation or help encourage them in a situation, then I can be vulnerable in that sense. If it's a situation where I need help or I just need some encouragement myself, then and it's reasonable or somebody, yeah, but that is when I figure it's a situation that's beneficial for either one of us. That's when I know that I can be vulnerable.
Let me ask you this. The definition of vulnerability, and this is from Google, it says the quality or state of being exposed to the possibility of being attacked or harmed.
Yep, yep. Vulnerable is like has been like one of the hardest things for me to ever be, just because of that. It hurts
Wow.
to be vulnerable because you don't know a person's reaction. That's how I became like really good at
Or you don't know a
writing.
person's motive.
Yes, that too. And you don't know what a person's gonna do with your vulnerability. So
Oh.
it's like how that's how I got good at writing because I was always afraid of people's reactions. So I would be clear with you, but I would always write you a letter because I never wanted to see how you reacted. If you never said anything to me
Oh.
again, then I knew that okay, you weren't cool or whatever the situation was. If you started to move funny or whatnot, but I just have it has always been like, and the anticipation of a person's reaction used to be like one of the biggest anxiety attacks that could ever be triggered for me. So that's why I say like,
I can agree.
yeah, like vulnerability is like you have to be vulnerable though. That's a part of growing. Like you can't be closed in. It's very hard, but you can't be closed in because like I said, sometimes you need help and nobody help you if you nobody know what's going on.
Hmm. So do you think it's better to just be vulnerable with yourself? Like,
Oh, you
hey,
have to be vulnerable with yourself all the time. You have to
oh
be real
yeah.
with
Oh
yourself
yeah.
every day. Like I said, you have to be
Oh
mindful
yeah.
of that discomfort. So yeah, but it's just a let sharing that vulnerability with other people. Like I put I have my family. We got a chat. We got a group chat or whatever, and we was just like basically talking about that. Like life is like with the way things are. Life is definitely oppressed, but with sight like y'all, we all right. We pressing, but we all right. But
Yes.
it was a meme. It was a meme. It was like, I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry. It was like a little cat with teary eyes.
Oh,
I mean,
yep.
that's life. You gotta shed some tears, but you gotta keep it moving. It's for some of
Mhm.
us it's a slow grind, but as long as the grind's still going, then hey, keep it rolling. But yeah,
Mhm.
that's nobody want to be in a position of vulnerability, but
Nobody.
you yeah, nobody want to do that, but
Nobody. Mm-mm.
yeah, you
Not
can't be
me.
willy nilly with it now.
Not
You
me.
can't
You
be willy
can't.
nilly with the
It's not
vulnerability.
coupons. It's not coupons. You do
Yeah,
not,
you can't.
folks. You do not give your vulnerability to everybody that walks through
Yeah,
that door.
no,
Okay?
nah, nah, not at
No.
all,
No.
not at
We no
all.
discounts. No coupons.
Yeah, not at all.
Put it
But yeah, you
up.
gotta do it. You definitely gotta do it. Definitely.
Dang. Now that's real. Now that's real. But it's
Yeah.
about to get a little bit more real, a little bit more hotter. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. I gotta ask. I have to ask. I have to ask. Second chances. Second, second chances. Second chances. That's the word right there.
Mhm.
Second chances. What? That's the words because it's two. What? Which means more than one. More than one. Meaning again and again. Where? How do you feel about second? Now, me. Let me start this one. Let me start this one. Second chances for me, I did not value that until it was time for me to be judged. If I
That
needed to
part.
get one, if somebody wanted to say,
That
I
part.
want to give you another chance, I did not. What? Second what?
Mhm.
I didn't even know the what number come after one. No, I forgot. I forgot. And when it was time for me to ask for mine or to try to show my actions and grow and change, that's when I understood what that means. What does that mean to you, Wisdom Simone? Second chances.
Second chances. I agree with what you said. I definitely
Oof. Mm.
consider myself I consider myself um but also I consider the situation. Um so yeah, I definitely consider myself, and I consider myself and look at how would I feel, or my motive, again, understanding people. Why would a person move the way that they move? And if it's a situation where I can see, okay, it was an honest situation for whatever feelings you had, that's just how it was, then okay, I can see it that way. It's like a jury and a court. Like that's the whole purpose of that. For people to look at your situation and your life to be laid out in front of them, and them to be able to look at it and say, okay, even though what you did was kind of jacked up, like if I was in that situation, like if it was a true jury of your peers, if I was in that situation, yeah, I probably would have did that too. So my recompense or my thought toward that situation opens up that space. But if it's a situation where I look at it and you just like janky or whatever adjective you want to use to say you were intentionally not moving, you were fully aware of what you was doing, you was going. If I do give you a second chance, it's gonna be a minute. So yeah, that's how I feel about second chances.
Hmm. Hmm. Have you ever been in a place where you had to give yourself a second chance on something?
Oh, I don't want to say all the time, but very often in life. Like second
Hmm.
chance, that's not even, you know what? I take that back. I apologize. I apologize. I gave myself a second chance a long time ago. Like if you're realistic with yourself,
Mhm.
if
Mhm.
you in a particular position, or if you're not necessarily um where you would have projected yourself to be, and you can see that you just kind of didn't uh your management wasn't what it should have been, then yeah, being young, doing stuff when you was young, not being
Mhm.
mindful of
Oh my
stuff,
goodness.
like yeah, you do stuff, you screw up. I mean, we people, um we got guidance, but we hard-headed, so
Oh boy.
there it is. So second chance, no, I haven't given myself multiple second chances. I ran out of that the first time I used it, because by that it would be a third chance if I did it again. So yeah, but you got to keep it moving.
Mhm.
Yeah, you got to keep it moving.
Oh, second chances.
Yeah, you got to be gracious with yourself. I thought about that also earlier today. It is very easy to encourage other
Mm.
people, but it is so easy to like bash yourself. And it was uh uh one of my brothers, one
Mhm.
of them, they said to me a while ago, because I will get on myself hard. I will, because I know I can do better. And
Right.
I know the potential of who I am, and the power that I have been, or the gift, I don't want to say the power, the gift that I've been given. I know I got a talent, but I'm just, I haven't worked my talent the way I should have. So I'll beat myself up real good. And
Mm,
they
mm,
were
mm,
like,
mm.
you can't do that. Like you got everybody else coming at you. You got the world coming at you. You got and Tahala y'all for it. I know he gave it to me. I just gotta work it. But Yeah, they were telling me like you can't beat yourself. I will do it. They was like you can't beat yourself up. The world beat you up. People gonna do what they do, whatever, whatever. So it's very easy to encourage other people. But sometimes it's easier to beat yourself up. So I recognize that too. And I'm mindful to always be light because that's what I was created to be. So yeah, you got to be gracious with yourself. You definitely got to be gracious with yourself because you're gonna make mistakes and the mistakes gonna set you back. You make good enough
Too
one,
many.
but yeah, especially that too. But you just got to keep pressing. You got to keep pressing because if you don't press, it ain't gonna be no different. So what's dog, I can't remember nobody lyrics tonight. Dang, I can't remember nobody lyrics tonight. Man, I'm thinking about can't even think of the song, but yeah, Tahala, y'all, it's you gotta be gracious for yourself, gracious with yourself and others.
Mm, second chances. Okay. Hmm. Well, like I said, I did not value that. And I guess once you especially I guess from everything that we spoke about today, from that word I can't stand, toxicity, consistency, self-respect, vulnerability, and then also coming down and finishing with second chances, I feel like once you get to the point where you realize that you are toxic and you're ready to change it, you have to be consistent at it. And then once you become consistent at it, you develop this sense of self-respect because now what you won't do to yourself, you wouldn't do to other people. And once you start to
Exactly, exactly.
change and
That's the part.
grow, now
Yes,
you can become vulnerable to be able to say, "Hey, this is who I was. This is what I've done. This is the thing. This is what I used to believe in. This is what I was okay with." Like you start to it's a different type of elevation once you are
hmm,
able to go through every lesson that you need to go through to get to that goal to be better. Hence, better addition. Stay tuned, y'all. Better addition. Stay
hmm.
tuned. But to end this off and to just flow on out the night, Miss Wisdom Simone. It
Yes,
was
man.
definitely a pleasure with talking to you
Yes.
on some topics that I felt like we need to talk about this. I feel like these are some words that may seem like you can say it and seem like you can define it the right way, but when you put that mirror against yourself, how do you see it? How do you view it? So, what's your perspective? And I appreciate you for coming on and sharing your perspective with all of our listeners. And of course, could you please do me a favor and just
Yes.
share your podcast information, my
Oh,
candid wisdom?
yes,
Where
yes.
did that come from? Where did that come from?
Well, my candid wisdom started about 2 years ago. I just realized it's been 2 years. Like it's a long time that has seemingly went by short. But
You started the podcast.
I didn't start the podcast
Okay.
until this season. Previous to this, it was
Oh,
on Instagram.
okay.
And what I would do is different news, whatever. If you know me, you know I got an opinion. So you you know I got an opinion if you
Got
know
it.
me. So if something struck me enough, I would get on Instagram or whatever. And I had a decent little following doing that, but I kind of fell off from doing it, life, whatever. And
Right.
self-respect, we hit on self-respect, but something I wanted to touch on that made me think about self-respect. Earlier I saw a video and the guy said, if your boss tells you to do whatever task, you're gonna do it. No questions asked, right? But
Mm,
if you say you're gonna get up and you're gonna do, he used the example of a YouTube page. If you're gonna get up, you're gonna do a YouTube page on Monday. You lax about doing it. Where's the self-respect? Why do you have more respect for basically a taskmaster than you have for your own mind and your own goals? So
mm,
anyway, with that being said, I fell into that gap of being lazy on myself. So I kind of fell off of doing that and just we started up a platform,
mhm.
ZMR Radio, which you're listening to now. Sahalaya
Yes.
Poet. Yes, yes, yes. So we started that by all us building together, doing that or whatnot. And first premiere show, of course, was Miss Lovely Wendy J with Flourish Girl Flourish, and we just generally
Hey.
had
Mm-hmm.
this Zamar rolling or whatnot. So since we had the platform and we have intelligent individuals to our access and things of that nature, we got her rolling, and we look forward to many other shows that we got in the works and get everybody getting things together just to bring up just a man. DMR finna be riding real soon.
Yes. Okay.
Will. So yeah, so just doing that and putting my part in, and like I said, I know just all us coming together. I know I have a voice for stuff like that. There's things in the world that sometimes need to be looked at or what have
Yeah,
you. And if I can put
absolutely.
my
It's a
little
lot.
throw my little pebble in the pond or whatever you want to say, as long as
Put your
it
little
line
twist
up.
on it. Put your little twist on it, but get them their credit. But put your little
Yes,
twist on it.
yes, give them their credit, help enlighten the people a
Hey.
bit, be able to cope with life and they day a little bit more, then why not? But um yeah, so that's how it started, and I'll continue on ZMR. As she said, you can catch it at My Candid Wisdom. I had updated that. I be so into my personal page, wisdom underscore
Oh
Simone.
yeah.
I put stuff on there, whatnot. Uh, so yeah,
We're gonna put that on the list. Let's put it on the list to make that another goal of yours. Being
oh yeah,
consistent with,
yeah,
adding more content to My Candid Wisdom. So okay,
yeah,
well we can do that. You heard it here first, y'all. This is what
yeah.
she said she gonna do now.
It definitely
Get
is.
her on
Definitely
there and
is.
write her
I already
today.
was in the works. I already was in the
What
works.
we better addition? What we doing? Better addition. Well, thank
Yes.
you so much, and I appreciate it. But I want you to hold on. I want you to hang on for the almond milk and agave.
Okay.
Agave.
Is it warm?
Is
Is it warm or cold?
it more? What is it going into? Well, what are
Oh,
you mixing this in? Huh?
is
What
it
are you?
warm or is it cold? Like
What
warm
you?
agave milk is like real good.
It has. It has to be good. I can only
Yeah.
imagine. When the agave if it's cold, when it just go to the bottom. Don't you think it would?
You can
I mean,
stir
you
it in
stir it
there.
pretty good. Okay, okay,
Yeah, you
okay.
can stir it in there like honey. But yes, yeah.
Okay, okay. A little warm, a little warm. And where almond milk and agave came from is, it's sweet. So I wanted to find a cute little catchy name to bring everyone down from I guess the exposing moment. Like what I like to call when I, talking on my show, I dive deep into things that I feel like that need to change, or that has
Yeah.
changed, or that's something that was interesting to me, or whatever. But sometimes it's not always going to ruffle your feathers, because once you are aware of certain things, now come on, what we gonna do? We gonna keep doing the same thing? Are we gonna keep operating the same? Are we gonna keep running to the same brick wall that you see every day at the same time, every day?
Yeah.
Are we gonna keep
Yeah.
doing that? No. So almond milk and agave is just to bring it on down, find some inspiring quotes or things that resonate with where I am. And also I would like for this to resonate as well with you. So these are the three that I chose. Okay. Almond milk and agave moment, y'all. So growth hurts because change isn't easy. That's why they call it growing pains. That's the first one. The next one is heal the roots so the tree is stable. And the last one, this one caught my eye. Now these are all quotes that I found either on Instagram, my cute little screenshots. But this one is, please communicate to me when I've done something that bothers you or you don't understand. Let me apologize and let me learn.
Yep.
Accountability, taking responsibility, and adding changeability and probabilities.
Yes.
Got the T's going on today. Accountability, responsibility, and come on, wisdom. Give me another abilities. How many abilities we got?
I don't know about all the abilities, but the root of it all is you're able to do it. That's it. That's what
You're
I was thinking about
able
while
to
you were
do
saying
it
all that. The root of it all is you're able to do it. You got to be minded to do it.
willingly.
Honestly. Yes, willingly. Even if
Another
it
L on
hurts, even if you got to grit your teeth a bit, just
it.
whoa,
Squeeze your butt cheeks together. Whatever you gotta do.
whoa. It's tough. You got to squeeze your cheeks. It's real tough squeezing
Whatever
your
you
cheeks.
gotta do, get it together. You got it. You
Yes,
got this. Well, it was definitely a pleasure having you on tonight.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
You
ma'am.
guys can find me at flourishgirl.flourish on Instagram. This is your girl Wendy J and Wisdom Simone.
Yes.
Until next time.
Anno Domini Nation.
Let me see your war face. Sir, you got a war face? Ah! That's a war face. Now let me see your war face. Ah! Bullshit. You didn't convince me. Let me see your real war face. Ah! You don't scare me. Work on it. Sir, yes, sir.
Slow rain, tone, real cheese, moving quiet. But my hour, he ain't ready, he ain't consuming fire. Can't beat the clip and mute the silent. We gon' try and when we come through, you better move like the Dukes of Sirens. Oh, like we got a virus and just fake cough. Niggas step back, call him James Hard. We play hard like every day is the playoffs. Now I'm taking my pulse without a break charge. Apply pressure on all these lame squads. My skin enough, can't afford no weight loss. So how it look? Me, let you take all straight war family for all mine, I lay yours. That's an acronym for all those who didn't catch it. I'll give a second for all the comprehend this message. Smith & Wesson, my official weapon. But for sin is regression, obeying scripture is my protection. The Yahoo game standing strong and we won't break. My young lions is hungry, we need the whole plate. Eyes open, young soldier, no time to parlay. You can blink but don't sleep or you'll fall prey.
Yeah, put on my helmet, grab the weapon. I let the popping of the shells give you a warm welcome. I'm not a fan of Martin Luther, I serve your Hoover. Start parade, replays rebellion. All black and camouflage, remaining a soldier. Concealing identities, they calling this Noma. I gotta speak a little Latin. Just when they think they got a nigga figured out, I switch my pattern.
Damn, son.
I told you I serve Yahuwah. Here's a secret, not a whole lot of matters. We at war, I'm the Fox future. I make them put a white sheet over your body, they'll call you an Arab. Lights from the muzzle flash, join the Albarimo, lean backward, downward movement. Pour gasoline over those who slaughtered my Akeem and light. I'm firing rounds out the magazine.
The Yahoo game standing strong and we won't break. My young lions is hungry, we need the whole plate. Eyes open, young soldier, no time to parlay. You can blink but don't sleep or you'll fall prey. The Yahoo game standing strong and we won't break. My young lions is hungry, we need the whole plate. Eyes open, young soldier, no time to parlay. You can blink but don't sleep or you'll fall prey. War face.
Everything is you. Now you are everything. And everything is you. Now you are everything. And everything is you. Now you are everything. And everything is you.
Fellow on the beat.
Yeah, you are everything, and everything is you. Yeah, you are everything, and everything is you. Yeah, you are everything, and everything is you. Yeah, you are everything. You're my own.
Yo, Big Cookie, would you believe me if I told you that y'all's my everything? The one that make the sun shine and cause the clouds to rain. The one that brightens the darkness and take away the pain. In a whole world full of crazy, just glad you keep me sane. Or maybe insane, ain't got no common sense. Coming mean to share by many. It's my Yahuwah lent. At any moment he could take it away. So on this road I meditate, but Lord, keep it this way. I remember back in the day when I used to cry loud. Wondered if I tried to confess, would you even hear me out? Have I done too much to go against your will? That when I try to turn and get it right, you say be filthy still. I know you're the way, the truth, and the light. You gave me yours to give me mine, so I gotta live right. These more than just words and just a song to sing. This my confession and profession, you're my everything.
You are everything, and everything is you. Yeah, you are everything, and
be my all, that's my everything. Gave me a shot, like when Beretta's bang. My eyes on the mouth, cool, fixed with steady aim. It always been my goal to save my soul, that never changed. I rep the gang, yo, who they click? Now who you with? The winning team, coached by Elohim, I'll be a fool to quit. Who you know died for the bride on the crucifix? Stuck to his role like a movie script, to kick the beam. Now the word got me living clean. Yahuwah intent the killers, but Yahushua, he in the beam. My wife thought it was a bit extreme. My old dog couldn't understand, guess I'm just a different breed. But no credit under me, that's just a money loan. And he coming back to get interest before my life is gone. I make a point to give Tahalim on the microphone. Sweet savor sacrificed up, smell like a nice cologne.
You are everything, and everything in you. Yeah, you are everything, and everything in you. Yeah, you are everything, and everything in you. Yeah, you are everything. You're my all.
In this lane, nice word. Y'all said to be perfect. Con undeserved. Had to learn it, don't work it. In this lane, nice word. Y'all said to be perfect. Con undeserved. Had to learn it, I'm worth it. In this lane, nice word. Y'all said to be perfect. Con undeserved. Had to learn it, I'm worth it. In this lane, nice word. Y'all said to be perfect. Con undeserved. Had to learn it, I'm worth it.
In this concrete jungle, hustling daily, trying to make ends meet. Pull out navigation and patience, so sit down and hedge me. Cares of this, a Ross will leave you swerving in the Dead Sea. A lane has been paid, no fool can air if he just listening. Application like their job, you've been slaving, but better benefits. Transgression for carnality, no need because Yahushua sent. Trust he will take care of it. Your life is cruise control. Had to learn this myself. No ease at first, yet you get bold. Taking on Muadi, approved or disapproved. I ain't caring, they can't destroy me. But the false rest in place, know that it's precious. So high my bills get paid important, but his flame I ain't daring. Cause to get in his my food, must prove my ways, they ain't erring. So in this lane,
nice word. Y'all said to be perfect. Con undeserved. Had to learn it, I'm worth it. In this lane, nice word. Y'all said to be perfect. Con undeserved. Had to learn it, I'm worth it. In this lane, nice word. Y'all said to be perfect. Con undeserved. Had to learn it, I'm worth it. In this lane, nice word. Y'all said to be perfect. Con undeserved. Had to learn it, I'm worth it.
Description of this lane travel, straight and narrow. Restricted persecution is the path I choose to follow. Got a perfect model, but I'm easy on the throttle. You can keep your liquor bottle, make it fine with living water. Swerving towards slaughter, let me keep it out the dish. Automatic transition, adequate for any shift. Powered by my Yahuwah, if you about the truth. When these sellers pull me over, charge me DWQ. Hey, that driving Q'dash, a slow racer, but I'm right. I'm observing all the signs, this protecting my device. Won't leave without my stash, encounter several toll stations. Just a manifestation, law to the road that I'm obeying, ain't swerving.
Nice word. Y'all said to be perfect. Con undeserved. Had to learn it, I'm worth it. In this lane, nice word. Y'all said to be perfect. Con undeserved. Had to learn it, I'm worth it. In this lane, nice word. Y'all said to be perfect. Con undeserved. Had to learn it, I'm worth it. In this lane, nice word. Y'all said to be perfect. Con undeserved. Had to learn it, I'm worth it.